It's a pleasure to have you on campus today as we celebrate the opening or the enhancements that we have now to Middle Tennessee Boulevard. This has been a project that has been a number of years in coming, and we are all extremely excited about it. I'm not sure anyone is more excited about this project, however, than the First Lady, Miss Liz McPhee. Liz, if you'll stand up. Liz has spent the last several years waking up every morning for her cup of coffee and to go sit in her sunroom and wondering which one of the construction guys are going to come by and ask for one of her hot muffins. And this is going to stop now. And we're really glad that they finished their project and that they will soon be leaving town, Shane, and be done. And we'll be able to take full possession and ready to go with this. But this project really is a major accomplishment for this campus and for this city. It has brought a lot of benefit that we're going to be discussing just in a moment. I think maybe as much as anyone, our president has sweated through this, shepherded this, guided this, prayed for this, and just really, frankly, hoped that this day was going to come. Because when you look at this campus and all the incredible growth that we've seen, the development that's come under Dr. McPhee's leadership, I'm not sure that from a public perspective, there's been any project completed during his tenure that's going to have a more visible impact on our campus. And I'd like to invite our president, Dr. SIDNEY McPhee, to the podium, who's going to introduce some of our special guests and extend a formal welcome. Dr. McPhee.
Thank you, Joe, and good morning. Certainly like to bring special welcome yet to another exciting celebration at our great university. Now, most of you know that I traditionally begin with a quote, "Welcome to the beautiful campus of Middle Tennessee State University." You all know the drill. However, ladies and gentlemen, this morning I want to change that just a little by saying, welcome to the increasingly beautiful campus of Middle Tennessee State University as we celebrate this addition to our community that will help not only beautify our campus, but the city of Murfreesboro and certainly Rutherford County. So it's a great day for us on our campus and our city as we celebrate the completion. Where's the mayor of Murfreesboro, Shane? Shane, am I safe in saying the completion? Are we complete? Of Middle Tennessee State Boulevard. For those of us who have been involved in this project for a decade plus, this has been a day that we have long waited for, and quite frankly, at times we weren't 100% sure that this was even going to happen in our lifetime. But thanks to the commitment and the determination of our local, state, and federal elected officials, as well as our community, we now have a beautiful front door for our campus and for the Murfreesboro historic downtown area. To help us commemorate this particular and special day, we are fortunate to have many special guests with us. And I'd like to take just a moment to recognize our special guests that are with us this morning. First, from the MTSU Board of Trustees, we have Chairman Steve Smith, Vice Chairman Darrell Freeman, and several other members of our board. Would you stand and let us thank you for your support of our university? Thank you. Also, we have an incredible group of leaders, local and state elected officials, who've been great supporters of this university from its beginning. Not all of them were here at the beginning of it, but they have been absolutely great supporters. Our mayor and former MTSU student body president, Shane McFarland, Mayor McFarland, would you stand and let us thank you? Former Mayor Tommy Bragg, I want to recognize him because when we started this project, he was very instrumental, along with the city council members and the city manager, in supporting us and pushing us. So, Mayor, with city council members, you former and current, would you stand and let us thank you? I see our former city managers here and others. Let us thank you all for your great work. And of course, a very long-time supporter of MTSU, a first as a governor of this great state, and now our current United States senior senator, Senator LAMAR Alexander. Senator, thank you so much for your presence here. And we have one of the most distinguished alumnus and also a former student body president, former United States Congressman BART Gordon. You'll be hearing more from him in a moment. But BART, stand up so we can see you with your beautiful tie on. At this time, I would like to invite Mayor McFarland to the podium for his comments on behalf of the city. And following the mayor, we'll hear from former Congressman BART Gordon and Senator Alexander. Let's give the mayor a round of applause, please.
It's my pleasure to be here today. I do want to go on record. I started customs right over in the James Union Building in 1992, and I think that Dr. Walker was talking about the expansion of Middle Tennessee Boulevard back in 1992. So I never thought that I'd be here the day that we get to open it up. I want to thank you, Dr. McPhee, for initiating this day, this celebration, and most importantly, your leadership at the university. I think it's safe to say that the growth we've had here at the university, not only in facilities, but in things like this, goes a long way to our community. I was thinking about really back where this project started, and to give you an idea, we've had 3 mayors since the project has been talked about: Mayor Richard Reeves, Mayor Tommy Bragg, who's here, and then me. We have gone through or have been fortunate to have 3 different city managers: Roger Haley, Rob Lyons, who is here, and Craig Tyndall, who has now helped with this process. We've gone through 2 different traffic directors, and when I say gone through, they've retired. Dana Richardson, who has been instrumental in being able to get this project pushed through, and now Jim Kerr. We have 2 different city engineers. Ken Hayes retired, and now we've had Sam Huddleston and Chris Griffith, who have worked through all these things. So I think not only when you say that this project has been a long time coming, there have been a lot of people who've really worked to be able to get this to come to fruition. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our city council, who's here: Bill Shacklett, Vice Mayor Madeline Scales-Harris, Eddie Smotherman. But we've also gone through and had several different council members who've worked on this. Most importantly, I think someone who's smiling from up above, Doug Young, who graduated from MTSU, was instrumental in a lot of the things here. And Doug was always an adamant supporter of what was happening at this university. So I think it's beneficial to make sure and recognize Doug. In addition to all these new buildings, a student union, education building, science building, human health buildings, the city of Murfreesboro has partnered with MTSU to enhance this new gateway to MTSU with Middle Tennessee Boulevard. As Dr. McPhee pointed out, it hasn't been without challenges, but after waiting patiently, we now have better traffic flow, a new pull-in area in front of Murphy Center where we're going to have a lot of wins this year, right, Coach McDevitt? Absolutely, on record. Better safety with signalized crossings. We continually are working on making sure that Murfreesboro is pedestrian friendly, and I think this is one of the things that we're most proud of. And most importantly, I think when you ask Dr. McPhee, fantastic new signage to the university. I think that's something that is beneficial. The landscape median has been a work in progress. We're still working on that, but between the fall, we'll have it looking a lot better. Finally, we shouldn't neglect to remind ourselves that projects like this take money and partnership. We've had more than $18 million in road improvements in what you see here. $12 million from the federal government. Senator Alexander, thank you so much for your work, and Congressman Gordon. Thank you. When Bart will never get up here and brag, but I remember when I met with Bart when I was first elected as student body president, and Bart was talking about greenways. He was talking about all the things in Murfreesboro. And Bart, your footprint, your handprints are all over this city. So we want to thank you for what you've done. We've had $5 million invested from MTSU, and we've had lots of state partnership. So to our state partners, we say thank you. All of that, I go to tell you that the partnerships that we have between elected officials, MTSU, our state, and our federal government could never be stronger. And I think what you're going to see with this improvement will be years of things that we'll see improve at MTSU. Thank you for what you've done and what you continue to do for this university and this city.
Well, good morning, everyone. Dr. McPhee, thank you for your very kind words, and more importantly, for the 19 years of your leadership for our university here. It's warm, it's hot out here, and I don't want to go too long, but I overheard Senator Alexander say to Shane how much the city has changed and how pretty it was and what a nice place it is from the time that he walked down 96. And you know, that doesn't happen with leadership. It doesn't happen without leadership. We really would be in a mess without leadership, wouldn't we? And so I hate to repeat Dr. McPhee, but I do want to thank Steve and Steve Smith and the Board of Trustees for their leadership. If you haven't gotten your MTSU magazine, you'll get it soon, and you'll see that Steve never gives up, and we're lucky that he doesn't. And I have known every mayor since Mayor Westbrook's. Tommy, you remember Mayor Westbrook's, and known every and the city council, and have known all the county executives since Mayor Threet. And we have been very fortunate to have that type of leadership, and our current leadership is carrying on with that. And Shane, I just said to Bill a while ago that not only do y'all have vision, but you're willing to pay the bill. And I thank you for having the courage to pay for the bills to do these things. I know it's not always easy. And of course, you've got to have the faculty and staff administration. That's really the engine that makes things go. And so thank you for being here. Now, we're to the point where everything's been said, just everybody hadn't said it. So I'm going to make two brief statements. One, when you do a project like this, it's really, as we were talking about with JB yesterday, it's something you do every 40 or 50 years. And so you really have an option. You can halfway do it and sort of live with it, or you can create a partnership and do it right. And I think what this boulevard is going to do is it's going to set a benchmark for additional type of public-private partnerships. And I know Steve is going to be on top of that. And you're going to see a little university village, I think, here in a few years, and it's really going to be a great place for everyone. And the second thing that I want to say is, as has been mentioned, this wouldn't be here without Senator Alexander. But, you know, I was looking up at the stage, and I saw the Tennessee flag, and I saw the American flag, which just epitomizes Senator Alexander. He has done so much for us. It was the Better School program, the Better Roads program that Governor Alexander initiated that really set the foundation for a lot of things that's going on here. But it was in 2012 that, to me, he made the biggest contribution to the country. And, you know, a guy that runs for president twice, you know, he's a little bit ambitious. And so he was in line to be majority leader of the United States Senate. And he made the decision that you can't be trying to beat senators in the other party on the weekend and then come and work with them in the week for good legislation for the country. So he gave up his ambition to be majority leader of the United States Senate to be really the premier legislator that we have in the United States Congress now. Anybody that wants a major bill wants Senator Alexander as a partner. Anybody that's got a little bill wants to slip it in to one of his bills, because that's how it gets done. And I predict, and I hate to see him go in a year and a half, but I predict that he may be gone physically, but he will live on, because the term Alexander will become a verb. And every time people feel like this is something we've got to get done, this is legislation we've got to get passed, they're going to say, we've got to Alexander this, which means we've got to sit down, work together, find some common sense solutions and move forward. So, Senator, you're going to live on forever as a verb.
Thank you. Thank you, Bart. That was creative and very generous. I didn't imagine when I was elected United States Senate I would spend so much time working with the former chairman of the state Democratic Party, Bart Gordon. But we did, and he made enormous contributions on America's competitive position in the world and on science, technology, and on what we're talking about here today. I was once sitting next to George H.W. Bush and his wife Barbara, and he was about to speak, and he turned to his wife and said, "Bar, what should I speak about?" And she said, "About 5 minutes, George." So that's what advice I'm going to take. Shane, congratulations to you, because I know that MTSU and Murfreesboro are just all tied up together. One success is the other success, and this has becoming one of the most rapidly growing cities in the country, and this university is doing the same. I did say to Bart as I walked in, I thought back 40 years to walking down Highway 96 with Roger Haley and some others at that time, and what a wonderful change since that period of time, and so much of it done in good taste, which is what we're talking about today. Mayor Ketron, Senator White, and Representative Rudd and Sparks, President McPhee, whose leadership, it's great to see a university president who can stay as long as he has. Most get run off in 2 or 3 years. I know something about that. But he's not only stayed, he's had great enthusiasm for this place, and he still has it. I got here 30 minutes early. The reason we were late was his fault, because he captured me, and I got a chance to see the remarkable changes that have been made here, some of which I hadn't seen before. Philip White is a professor of landscape and architecture at the University of Washington State, and this is what he has to say. His research shows that most students choose college not based upon education, but based on the campus appearance. He said most students who are visiting a college, choosing a college, will decide in the first 10 minutes whether it's going to stay on their college list, mostly based on the appearance. About 62% of college students, according to admissions officers, base their decision on the appearance of the landscape and the building. Students and their parents pay attention to how things look. Former Vanderbilt Chancellor Joe White told me a few years ago that when he was at Vanderbilt, he raised $500,000 simply to beautify the campus. And the professors got mad at him and said, "Why don't we spend it on us?" He said, "This would be better spent, because the people who are visiting here will think more of Vanderbilt and come there." The first impression you have of a university makes a lot of difference. One person said, "Students today don't bother to skim the pages. If the cover is pretty, they will take the class. If the cover doesn't look appealing, they may not read the book at all." Middle Tennessee Boulevard is an important event because it creates a great first impression for a great university. Back in 2004, as Bart was saying, Bill Frist was the majority leader of the United States Senate. Bart was a congressman. I was a senator, and Bart reminded us of Middle Tennessee Boulevard. We got together, and the long and short of it was about $8.4 million. That helped get it started, but then the city, and then the state, and then the university of itself all came together. Today, Middle Tennessee State University not only looks like a great university, it is a great university. I heard SIDNEY today, and I've heard Steve Smith, and to Steve and the members of the board of directors, congratulations on your leadership of this campus. I know you're proud of the fact of its growth as a university. They reminded me that half of the Davidson County high school graduates who go to college come to Middle Tennessee State University, and they come to the fastest growing city in Tennessee. So if someone says to the president or the board, why are you spending so much money on landscaping and buildings? The answer might be, why do you mow your yard? Why do you paint your house? Why do you paint your fence? You want people to have a good impression of you and where you live. If you want to continue to attract the best faculty and the best students, a great university needs to make a great first impression, not just for the students and visitors who come here for the first time, but for the faculty and students who drive in and out every day. You want them to have a sense of pride about where they live and where they work. So Middle Tennessee Boulevard does just that. I'm here today to salute everyone here, the mayors, BART, the board, the state, everyone who had a part in this. Middle Tennessee Boulevard creates a great first impression for a great university. Thank you.
Please join me in thanking our mayor, congressman, and our senator for not only their presence here, but indeed their very inspiring remarks. Let's give them another round of applause, please. As you have heard, I've been president here for going on 19 years, and that would have not been possible without the incredible staff, faculty, but most important, our local elected officials, our senators from this area, our state representatives. They have been great partners with us at this university and this community, and I'd like to recognize them that they're here. Would you stand, Senator White, Reeves? Please, let's give them a round of applause for your great support of our university. We couldn't do it without you. Now, I'd like to take just a few moments, and I realize that the sun is out, and we're very grateful for that. Last night, I was worried quite a bit with the monsoon that came down. So I'll be brief, but I would like to just take a few moments to thank members of the university community who have helped this endeavor. We have an incredible group of staff, particularly those and the administration in our facilities. And you've heard the senator talk about what a great, beautiful campus. It's because of these individuals. First, Joe Bales. I want to recognize Joe because Joe, our vice president for university advancement, from day one, we hired him about 16, 17 years ago. And from day one, it seems like 100 years or so, Joe, but Joe was involved with this project, and it was his responsibility, working in conjunction with Congressman Gordon, Senator Alexander, and others, to develop the formal funding requests and secure the support for the rest of our congressional delegation, the city, and ultimately to gain approval by Congress. So, Joe, let us thank you for your really great work and your excellent leadership. Next, I want to acknowledge former Senior Vice President John Cothran. John is unable to be with us today, but I want you to know that he was very instrumental in identifying the funding for the university's share. In times of very tight budget, he was able to work with the staff in identifying funds and be a leader in making sure that this project was successful. So in absentia, let's give John a round of applause for his great work. And obviously following John to continue this project, his duties were ably assumed by our current Vice President, Alan Thomas. Alan, would you stand and let's thank you for the great work that you and your staff has done. He's kept us on track along with the city. We have someone who was a great leader at this campus in the facilities areas. Now she's gone on to bigger and better things. She's one of the senior executives at THEC. Patty Miller, our former Associate Vice President for Campus Planning, as well as our entire staff in campus planning and facilities. They have worked to ensure that the safety of our students was a top consideration and that the physical landscape of the project enhanced the overall appearance of our campus. So please join me in thanking them again for their great work and their great leadership. Now, as I mentioned in my earlier comments, this truly is an important day, no exaggeration, for our campus, one that has been in the making for 100+ years, now just about 12 or 13. And while this project has had its shares of ups and downs, if you heard about it from our mayor, we now can see that it is and was worth it all. During the past few years of construction, Liz and I have enjoyed sitting in the sunroom of the president's residence, listening to the banging, the noise, the dust, and watching this remarkable transformation take place. And once what was somewhat of a dark and uninspired stretch of highway, one that could have been found almost anywhere in the country, is now a beautiful thoroughfare. One, I might add, that's equal to any university in the community, the new gateway to this great institution. Now that visitors to our community and students and faculty, now when they're approaching our campus, they know they have arrived at MTSU. And we hope they know they don't have to leave. They can stay here. And as attractive as the boulevard is right now, wait until night falls and see this beautiful boulevard at night. Well-lit sidewalks and pedestrian-friendly design welcome our students and community neighbors as they run, walk, and bike alongside our campus. And while the completion of Middle Tennessee Boulevard has certainly changed the visual landscape of our campus, the enhancement for our students are perhaps more noteworthy. For a number of years, as the traffic flow through campus increased, so did the concern and the safety for our students and for our visitors. When the opportunity came to enhance the original plan for the widening of the highway, our primary focus was the safety of our students and the visitors and guests and employees. From an increased signals to dedicated sidewalks, drop-offs, and turn lanes, every effort was made to assure that those driving, walking, and biking in the area could do so safely. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is indeed a celebration of not only the completion of the road, but as you have heard, the collaborative relationship we enjoy with our partners in local, state, and federal government. Projects like this just don't happen. They require commitment, cooperation of multiple agencies and governing bodies. And we have been very fortunate on this campus to have that incredible support across the board. Without that, we would not be standing here today. So the next time you are driving down Middle Tennessee Boulevard, I hope that you will take a moment to think of it as not just a road, but a visible symbol of the shared commitment that we all have for the betterment of our community and our university. This is a great day for our city. This is a great day for our county, and no question, a great day for our university and the state of Tennessee.
All right, we're doing this as a countdown. Gentlemen, you ready? Jay, are you ready? I'm ready. We're going to do this once I hit 3, 2, 1, cut. 3, 2, 1, cut. There we go.